Hey everyone. So I'm gonna try this again today. In my last video that I did the other day, I misspoke about a couple of things, and I put it in the comment section where those areas where I misspoke, and I pretty much already addressed them. But when you're making a video, commenters, well, people watching your video, they gravitate onto the words you're saying. But that's why when I make mistakes in my videos, I go into the comment section and put down where I made a mistake. But what I'm about to say right now is not a mistake that I made the other day, but it's just something, a view that a commenter has on the video I did yesterday, and I've addressed this issue countless times, and it seems the video I made yesterday did not help people because they still are seeing it a certain way. I want to explain this. Here in the next dispensation, I'm going to put up here on the board. Next dispensation, God will not be re-imputing. Can't finish the whole word up there. He will not be re-imputing the nation of Israel's sins. And I know yesterday, not one time did I say the word re-impute. Nowhere. But literally in less than 24 hours, had a viewer, not going to say his name, he knows who he is, and I'm pretty sure he probably just made a mistake. But if it was a mistake and you really believe this, sir, no. God will not be re-imputing the nation of Israel's sins. And the reason I have to stop everything and do a part 2 to this video is because many people think this. They think God will re-impute the nation of Israel's sins. Now think about that word re-impute. Meaning what? Recount. Why would God recount the nation of Israel's sins? He's not going to do that. Okay? If you think that is okay, that makes sense to you, that God recounts the sins that he already forgave here at the cross, and we're talking about the nation of Israel. I'm not talking about the world right now, the nation of Israel. God already forgave. He purged Israel, he purged the nation of Israel from their old sins. He gave the nation of Israel remissions of sins. So, do you see how messed up that would be? Why would God count this new nation of Israel? He's going to count them for the sins. He's going to recount them for the sins he already counted back here, way back here. No. That's why I said the word impute, which means to count. He will count the sins the nation of Israel commits here. The sins they commit in this dispensation. God will not be re-imputing the nation of Israel's sins. He will impute the nation of Israel's sins. He will count the nation of Israel's sins, the sins that they commit in this dispensation, in this dispensation, in this dispensation. There will be no re-imputation. He will not re-imputation. He will not be re-imputing. Okay? He will not be recounting sin. God will only count the sins they commit in this dispensation. God is not going to take the sins all the way back here and recount them to the nation of Israel. No, it's completely wrong. And that's what I'm saying. This video that I'm talking about, maybe for new believers, is something that hard for people to grasp. Trey has a video where he's talking about this. He will not re-impute the nation of Israel's sins. He will not reimpute the world's sins. Neither the world nor Israel, God will not be reimputing either one's sins in the next dispensation. That will not be happening. In the next dispensation, God will be counting the world's sins. God will be counting the nation of Israel's sins. The difference is for the nation of Israel, at the end of the tribulation, I told you they will, when God comes back, they will confess their sins as a nation to God. But if you're a Gentile in this time period, meaning you're still unsaved, you never got saved, a Gentile in this time period will not get their sins forgiven. That's straight up. Meaning they never get saved. They remain a Gentile. So obviously they took the mark of the beast. Because in this time period, there's no such thing as, well, Brandon, there's a way in which a Gentile can make it through the dispensation and not take the mark of the beast. If a Gentile in the next dispensation does not take the mark of the beast, the reason they didn't take the mark of the beast is because they died. They died for Jesus Christ. And that would not make them a Gentile anymore. If you die for Jesus Christ in this next dispensation, you refuse the mark of the beast, you get saved. That's what I'm saying. And you become part of the nation of Israel. But if you're a Gentile in this time period that somehow, some people think in their mind this will exist. And I know I'm kind of going off track. They think that it is possible that a Gentile can both not be saved, but also not take the mark of the beast. That doesn't exist. That type of situation will not exist. Either you took the mark of the beast or you didn't. If you didn't take the mark of the beast, then you refuse the mark of the beast, you're saved. That's it. You got saved. Now, this video can go off into a whole nother topic. Okay, what about those that are born in the millennial? The separation of the sheep and the goats during this time period. Again, even I'll touch briefly on that. If you're a sheep, this is none of us. This is for people in this next dispensation. When Jesus comes back and separates people, if you're a sheep, you made it. You're not going to be destroyed. If you're a goat, you're going straight to hell. Now, the offspring of the sheep, the offspring of the saved people during there in that next dispensation, they're gonna have their choices. Many of them are going to rebel right there at the end of the millennial kingdom. We already know that. But I'm simply saying, what I'm trying to emphasize here, because I know I'm going off on a tangent talking about that, is in this next dispensation, God will be charging sin. If a Gentile takes the mark of the beast, that sin will be charged to the Gentile and they will never be forgiven. If a person from the nation of Israel were to take the mark of the beast during this next dispensation, they will never get forgiveness of it. But say a person from the nation of Israel, even a Gentile, either one of them, they just sin, right? But they don't take the mark of the beast. As I said, they die, and if they choose not to take the mark of the beast, which will result in their death, they got saved. So all the sins that they committed during this dispensation will be forgiven by God when he comes back to the earth. But the point is, who is confessing their sins, the Gentiles or the nation of Israel? It's only the nation of Israel that confesses their sins to God. I'm simply saying a Gentile to get saved in this next dispensation, what will happen to them? They will be converted over into the nation of Israel. They become part of the nation of Israel. When God comes back, they're a part of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel confesses their sins to God, and he blots out their sins. They confess their sins as a nation to God. He blots out their sins. So I hope this didn't go over somebody's head. I hope they get it. There will be no re-imputing anything in this next dispensation. That will not be occurring at all. So I don't know why. I don't know where people keep getting this re-imputing thing work. If you If you're thinking re-imputing makes sense to you, that is the most sickest thing I've ever heard. I'm just being honest with you. Because you're literally saying God is going to re-impute the sins God forgave back here unto the nation of Israel here? No. All these sins, the old sins have been forgiven. They will not be re-imputed. As of right now, in the dispensation of grace, God is not imputing the nation of Israel's sins. Over here in the next dispensation, the only sins that will be imputed will be the ones that they commit. That's it. You're a Gentile in the next dispensation. You take the mark of the beast sin, your sin will be imputed there. You're part of the nation of Israel. You take the mark of the beast, your sin will be imputed there. That's it. Nothing from back here. So I hope that helps everybody to understand. And we'll try it again. I see something else in the comment section. I'll just have to keep doing the video because this is a concept that I don't know why, but I guess it's just very complicated. I can post Truth Time Radio's video in the comment section, but this is a video. This is why I'm making this video, because if you're not grasping this concept, if you're like, Brandon, I'm just not getting this, man. Is God imputing the nation of Israel's sins or not? That's why even in the last video I put in the comment section, I misspoke in the last video when I was trying to say God has been imputing the nation of Israel's sins since the cross. I misspoke there, and I corrected myself in the video. God will only impute the nation of Israel's sins, not these sins, not their old sins, but the sins that they commit in this next dispensation, in the next dispensation. The sins that would be imputed to the nation of Israel will be the ones that they commit in the next dispensation. In the next dispensation. I can't say that enough, man. I really can't. God is not imputing the nation of Israel's sins right now. But it is not because of 2 Corinthians 5:19. That has nothing to do with it. So you have people linking those two together. They're saying 2 Corinthians 5 verse 19 is why God is not imputing the nation of Israel's sins. No. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 19 has nothing to do with the nation of Israel. All right, guys and gals, have a great day.